And we are having interesting participants from across India. I'm having Aidevi from Delhi logged in, and students from Kanika Parameshwari, SRM Arts and Science College students, and as well as Fatima College in Madurai. We have Professor Uma here, Professor Aisha Banu also from Kanika Parameshwari, and many more yet to join. So I will start by introducing the speakers for the day. Dr. Kumara Babu, as you know, is a renowned speaker. And in fact, he's been our long-time faculty for almost over 20 years now. And he is a specialist in psychiatry. The profile, of course, I can mail you all to see more about it. It runs 2 pages. So to give you a glimpse of what his background is, I can say that he is a #1 counselor in the city today, is much sought after. And many of our students have been also being trained under him. It is just not the training, but he's also passionate in teaching. So that's why he is with us. He is a MD, PhD, DPM, and an alumnus of the Madras Medical College. After 30 years of service in the Tamil Nadu State Medical Department, he retired as reader in psychiatry and has 30 years of clinical, teaching, and research experience in the field of medicine. He has taught PG students, UG students, medical students, psychologists, social workers, nurses, magistrates, and criminologists. So this particular topic which he's going to handle comes out of his own experience in the sector, and I will open the floor for him now to start the session. Before that, if I could also give a quick introduction of our beloved Girija ma'am, who's also going to handle the session. She's also been our faculty for quite some time, and her experience comes with a mix of an activism as well as a social work background. She was a former secretary for Indian Council for Child Welfare and was having almost 35 years plus experience in the social service sector. She has served as a member of the Juvenile Justice Board, Chennai, and is the managing director of Sankalp, an NGO in Chennai that is committed to the cause of promoting the rights of girl children. She has won the Best Social Worker Award 2009 from the Government of Tamil Nadu, the Chief Minister's Gold Medal and Citation. She was also awarded the Outstanding Women of the Year 2009-10 award by the Inner Wheel Club Madras Cosmos. So these two excellent speakers are going to lead us through the discussion today. So I welcome you all once again and look forward to all this motivating session. Thank you so much. So over to Dr. Kumara Babu now.
Hello, good morning to all.
Morning.
We are starting. Yeah, we are starting now.
Okay. I just gave an introduction.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
So we always used to talk about socio-economic status, but now it has become economico-social status because they are putting the economy first. President Donald Trump went on record saying, yes, human lives will be lost, but then we can't sack the economy for that. So keep that in mind. We are going post-COVID society. Point number 1. APR stands for absolute personal responsibility. That is the only thing which can save us. In an emergency, for example, the infamous Chennai floods 5 years back, all of us went to sleep normal, woke up to find 6 feet water surrounding all around the house. No government servant can move because they are also completely moved. But then there were individuals who were wearing ropes around their waist, using car tires and moving and helpful, giving bread, water, etc. After a few hours, the NGOs moved in with 3 or 4 volunteers. The government moved about 2 days later. So in an emergency, I'm not blaming the government. In emergency macro level, you can't depend upon anybody else. Now, point number 1 for today's discussion. The word empowerment in behavioral sciences, especially in psychiatry, our definition is totally different about what is empowerment. Empowerment means a process of discovering and developing one's inborn nature of being responsible for one's own self. That is the definition. You are responsible for your own self. Each person. Now look at the slide. What you are seeing is this is where I'm showing you the stamp. In Government of India brought out a stamp. This man who is no more, he is Dasarath Manjhi, a Bihari, an illiterate Bihari, belonging to the most socio-economically suppressed class, the rat catchers. So no education, no money, no social status, nothing. Single man. What happened in his life was his wife was injured in a stoning accident, mining accident, and she was bleeding heavily. And the nearest hospital was 50 kilometers away because there was a mountain standing in between this village and the district headquarters. So they had to go around the mountain, 50 kilometers, and she died. From that day onwards, this single man, without anybody's help, with the help of one single chisel and one single hammer, he decided to break through the mountain and create a shortcut to the district headquarters. Dasarath Manjhi took 22 years. You can see the slide here where he's actually breaking the stones. After 22 years, this was the path laid by him. Working alone for 22 long years, the village was evacuated because of famine, no water, no food. He was able to forage water, vegetables on the mountain ridges. Everybody was laughing at him previously, but single man broke through, and after 22 years, he laid a crude path. And now the Bihar government has recognized services and named that path as Dasarath Manjhi Road. Now, listen, mountain was broken by a single man, an illiterate man, a very poor man, belonging to the most suppressed class, rat catcher families. This is the point. Never underestimate the power of one person. Don't ask, I'm a single person. What can I do? Wherever you are, with whatever you have, start doing. That is the point. Get empowered. Be responsible for yourself. Absolute personal responsibility. Can I have the next slide, please? Now, Dasarath Manjhi was an illiterate poor man on one end of the spectrum. On the other end of the spectrum was a great scientist, a psychiatrist, Viktor Frankl, well-educated man, well-off, reasonably well-off man, rich man, holding a high status in society. From Vienna, Austria, Vienna, Viktor Frankl, professor of psychiatry, was captured by the Hitler's army and was taken to the Nazi death camp in Auschwitz. No food, no water, brutal beating. People were gassed to death in the death chambers. Every day, sickness, death all around him. Deprived situations, most cruel conditions. Now Viktor Frankl survived the camp for more than 2 years. And when the Liberation Army liberated them, he gave the first interview. He said, I have to be alive to tell the world the cruelties the Nazi people imposed on us. That one single purpose for my life kept me alive in spite of lack of food, daily beatings, disease. That is the point. You must have a meaningful purpose for your life. Getting a job, building a small 2-bedroom house, having a car, having a family are okay. I'm not against it. But there must be a meaning and purpose far beyond you to make an impact on the society. That is the duty of every sociologist, to leave behind a legacy which will be enjoyed by hundreds and hundreds of years by millions of people. Viktor Frankl's famous quote is this: everything can be taken from a man, but the last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances. So COVID-19 is a very harsh situation. Can't go out. Schools are closed. Colleges are closed. Can't meet your friends in person. Can't buy things in a jiffy. Long crowds. Getting scared of anybody because they may infect you with corona. Situations are very harsh. But then government are restricted only your liberty of movement. They can never restrict your human freedom to choose your attitude to fight this disease, to fight any condition. You are free to choose your attitude, how you approach it. See everything as a challenge, not as a threat. Second quotation by him: when we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves. When we change ourselves, we become better. So regardless of situation, we have the choice to keep an upbeat attitude. Your altitude, how high you will go, depends upon your attitude. Your altitude depends upon your attitude. Next slide, please. The great famous American anthropologist Margaret Mead, she said this: never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that has ever changed the world. Small group of people, 4 or 5 people, getting together with a common meaning and purpose, a burning passion, an upbeat attitude to create something which is far reaching than personal lives, to last for thousands of years, like discovery of light, discovery of fire, discovery of antibiotics, discovery of your mobile phone, Steve Jobs, personal computers. That is where you make an impact on society. You need a very small group of like-minded, aligned people. When you inspire one person, that is called as the power of one. You just have to inspire one person, and that person will inspire only one person. And within no time, you have created a group which can break mountains. Next slide, please. COVID-19, the most heartbreaking visuals, news, the Madras High Court took a cognizance of that. The migrants, these are the people who left their homes to build your apartments, to do the manual labor. When this curfew was imposed, there was no job for them to do. No salary was given to them. And they decided to walk back thousands of kilometers on feet in this summer month of May. I hope you have seen our national highways, beautiful roads, glittering roads, but mostly barren lands, no shade. These guys have no food, no water, but they had one unshakable idea in their mind: I want to go back to my village. They are prepared to take their kids, their wives, one headload of their belongings, and they were willing to walk. This is the point. When they reached the border between 2 states or 2 districts, they faced lathi charge from the police. But they also faced humanity from ordinary people. People are giving them food, shelter, water. In fact, one fellow was jailed for helping them because they are breaking the law. So humanity always survives wherever you are. With whatever you have, do what best you can. Get inspired. Inspire just only one more person next to you. Have a high meaning and purpose for life, far reaching your personal life. And that is the beauty of a sociologist. Pradhan Mantri said this, Atmanirbhar, to be dependent only on self. That is the definition of empowerment. Don't keep expecting government to give you dose continuously. It is like giving fish to a fasting man, starving man. You have to learn fishing. You have to be responsible. Local community, why these migrants left their villages? Because there is nothing for them to do there, no water. But the Israelis, look at the Israelis, surrounded by enemies all sides, desert everywhere. And they discovered micro irrigation, drip irrigation. And Israel is now fertile. Mornings they go for the fields to harvest, to plow, to do farming. 6 o'clock they come back home, take the AK-47 and patrol the borders. Ordinary Israeli kibbutz. They never say die attitude. Even though surrounded all sides by the enemies, they still survive. Personal responsibility for individuals, group responsibilities for local groups, village responsibility for the villages, block responsibility for the blocks. That is empowerment. When inspired people get together, I have seen 100 days Manrega activities. Some villages have used wonderfully these 100 days programs. Some villages do not use it. They sit under the tree, take the money, half split with the broker and go home. So empowerment depends on individuals, small groups, village level groups, block level groups, to be self-dependent. Atmanirbhar, that's what Prime Minister keeps saying. Whatever you have around every area has got some resource. And you have to find out, you have to do research, you have to get motivated, inspire people and get it done. Next slide, please. You must be recognizing our great lady, Kamala Attal, 85 years, single, outskirts of Coimbatore, getting up early morning, 4 o'clock, making idlis and selling them for 1 rupee an idli. Even today, I think she is now in the hospital for some illness. And they asked, why don't increase the price? She said, what am I going to do with the money? This is for my people who come and depend on me. So a lady, single lady, 85-year-old woman, I'm sure she's not much educated. She is not rich, no support. See, she herself doing everything. But now people are like Mahindra Group is taking note of it. They want to help her, but she's turning down all kinds of helps. So this is the kind of individual spirit. This is what I mean. Post-COVID, economic downtrends, joblessness, constant fear of exposure to infection. Regardless of all this situation, your attitude can win the situation. This is a standing example of our own Kamala Attal. Next slide, please. Education institutions are closed because when people come together, you will get COVID infection. So colleges and schools are not under the essential list. Until last week, the government offices were not functioning because of fear of COVID. Religious institutions, temples, mosques, churches were closed because of infection contagion. Not essential. But task-mark is essential. Look at the crowds. What happened to the Samuha Idaiveli, social distancing? Don't we foresee this? Look at the last slide where the greater love than mother's love, father's love, and husband-wife love, children love is a love for alcohol. See, he's kissing the bottle. They are fighting to get that thing. Everybody is saying no money. People are starving. Here they are standing, fighting in a queue to shower money to get the alcohol. This is the height of irresponsibility. Nation made up of people like this will be disempowered, and unsustainable programs. When you start doing it, you have to depend on Taskmark to pay your salaries. Unfortunate situation. Values are broken. Freebies. Everybody wants doles, handouts. Nobody wants to be responsible. Nobody wants to get empowered. Constant state of disempowerment will lead to this situation where you have to do immoral things to make money. Next slide, please. The famous international brand Uber had a 3-minute Zoom call and laid off 3,000 people on Zoom. In 3-minute Zoom call, they dismissed 3,000 people. International brand. But our own Asian Paints declared pay raise to boost the employees' morale. Humane values, regardless of situations, there are people who will do the right thing, and there are people who will do the wrong thing. The purpose of sociologists is to increase people who do the good things, the right things, by making an impact on small groups, by inspiring people. Our Asian Paints, I'm proud to say that they have declared a raise in pay for people so that in case hospitalization, they can use it. They transfer 40 crores to the contractors' accounts so they'll get paid immediately. Next slide, please. Ecology, air, water, land, everything human beings polluted. The first slide shows really about 200 kilometers away, Himalayas are now visible from Punjab, from Bihar. Clean air. And those days, about a few centuries back, people went to river Ganga to cleanse their sins. But now today, Ganga itself is polluted, unfit for bathing, unfit for drinking. But now, 55 days of curfew, quarantine curfew, Ganga has become pure by itself because human beings are not there to pollute it. When you ravage nature, nature will teach you a lesson. COVID-19 is a lesson taught by nature. And look at the Rajasthan roads where peacocks are walking happily. And on the right lower side is my own Anna Nagar area where the medians are now blooming with great flowers. Unfortunately, no human to enjoy this beauty. And IT corridor, once upon a time, very, very, very busy IT corridor, not a single person on the road. So ecology, a responsible, empowered society should be ecologically sensitive. This earth doesn't belong to you. This earth belongs to future generations. You have no right to pollute the waters. You have no right to pollute the air. You have to have stringent measures for effluent therapy. You must have stringent measures. You see, about 3 months back, Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal was helpless to Delhi's smog and pollution, unfit for life. So ecological sensitive people are the highly empowered people. Post-COVID society, this virus has taught us a lesson that nature is watching you. When your commitments, your sins are exceeding too much, it will assert itself. And this is what you have to pay. So empowered post-COVID society should be ecologically very sensitive and eco-friendly. Next slide, please. Everybody targets social media. I think next session is on cyber safety. She's going to talk on that. Every discovery in the human evolution, every discovery was used by many people and was abused by many people. Right from the discovery of fire up to the explosion of atomic energy, the most eco-friendly and the most economical, very powerful energy, can be used to destroy nations. Social media is a great invention. In this 55 days, where your restriction of movement is there, your social life was never interrupted. You could still communicate on WhatsApp, on group messages, discussions, on Facebook, on Twitter, Instagrams, YouTubes, creative. I saw so many creative people loading creative videos on YouTube, passing wonderfully creative memes, which brings a laugh out. Social interactions that can never be stopped anymore. And that's a very powerful media. As a sociologist, you must not only learn the basics, but you must learn the deep nuances of how to raise an awareness group, how to motivate. You must have wondered, there's a change.org, which asks for you to sign petitions. Within 3-4 days, you get 1.5 lakh signatures. And within a week, the member of parliament talks in the parliament, and impact is felt, because elections are no more built on fought on local roadside meetings. It is fought on social media. So as a sociologist, when you constantly inspire people with social media groups and educate them to motivate others, you will have a very powerful weapon in your hand to make a change in the world, in the post-COVID society, where you sensitize people in many ways. So use this social media wisely. It's a great blessing in disguise. Don't waste it on unnecessary chat. Use it for your development. Use it for your community development. Use it for your social development. That is what a sociologist should do post-COVID life. Next slide, please. Finally, what did this coronavirus teach us? The first thing they closed was the beauty salons. The first thing they closed was the malls, shopping malls. The first thing they closed was the cinema theaters. There are so many things we are doing which are of low grade activity value, consuming lots of our time. Minimalism is simply a tangible way of prioritizing your life. You must be able to clearly differentiate needs from wants and wants from desires. You must be able to differentiate between need and greed. One day, I was in the mall and one friend asked me, "Professor, what are you doing here?" I told him, I was just looking at what are all the things which I don't require in my life, I find in the malls. Minimalism, not that you must be frugal like Spartan way. There are many ways you can jettison unnecessary luggage from your life. Keep it simple, need-based. Mahatma Gandhi said this: there is plenty in this universe to fulfill everyone's need, but not sufficient to fulfill everyone's greed. See, you may have money in the bank, but there must be idli and vada in the hotel for you to buy. When they close down the hotels, you have money in the bank. You have money at your fingertips in Google Pay, Amazon Pay. You have a beautiful app, Swiggy. You can do, but somebody has to bring you the idli and vada to you. Somebody has to produce that for you. Therefore, everything cannot be digitalized. There must be goods to be manufactured, goods to be transported, goods to be stored, goods to be distributed to the customer doorstep. Therefore, when you minimalize things, everything becomes easier in your personal life, in your communal life, in your social life, in your country, in the world. So as a sociologist, learn the basis of minimalism, use it in your personal life, and see what are the things which you never used for last 5 years. Chuck it away. Too much of clutter in your house spoils the mood. Too much of greed spoils the quality of life. Needs are okay. You can have whatever you want in life, as long as it's a basic need. But beyond that, you have to use your discretion. So I think this must be the last slide, and we have got 2 minutes left. This is the last slide, sir. Anything more? Yeah, that's the last slide. So that is my point for you. Empower, get empowered. Be responsible for yourself. Stay local. Inspire only one person. Don't ask what I can do as alone. Think of Dasarat Manji. 22 years, every day, hot sun, mountains, no water, no food. Still, he made a road. Therefore, be empowered, empower people. Our post society looks very encouraging. Thank you very much.
Participants, it's a pleasure to have Mrs. Girija Kumara Babu here with us. She was a former secretary for Indian Council for Child Welfare and has more than 35 years of experience in the social service sector. So over to you, ma'am. She's going to talk about cyber safety for women and children.
Okay. Thank you, Maribanu. This is the first time that a disaster provokes learning. All along we were said that you should have a happy, pleasant environment if you want to learn. But this COVID has taught us that we can also use our free time in a much more scientific learning mode. So many webinars, so many interactions, I have never seen it earlier. So this is a very great change, or what shall I say, very great shift in our attitude. And you heard Dr. Kumar Babu talking about the nobler things in life. But now we are going to talk about something that is not so very pleasant because of what's happening, and we are going to teach ourselves how we can win over the situation. Always don't be a victim, always be a challenger, and of course come off victoriously. That is the message for everyone, and I think that is what the COVID is teaching us also. Next slide, please. Okay, to begin with, yeah, next slide. Okay, before going into the presentation, I want to make clear that I am not going to talk about children. Enough to first let us understand what we mean by, and then we can go over to the children part of it. I think we should go to the earliest slide, please. The first slide. Yes, the earlier one. No, the first one. Yes. Now let us understand first why we call it an online trap. Yes. You're having some difficulty with the slides. Okay. Now we know that this world, what is happening exactly, we are part of it, we promote it, we do nasty things, all that we know. But now we are faced with a virtual world. This world does not exist, but it exists. This is the beauty of it. So what is this whole thing? The virtual world. We have created so many things. We created so many medias of communication. We have created so many games on it. We have created so many constructive things on it. And also we have done lots of, what shall I say, life-threatening situations. So what we mean by cyber crime, before we go on to cyber safety, we should know what we mean by cyber crime. This is an online behavior, and that's what I'm saying. You are not doing it physically, face to face, but you are doing this on an online, in the atmosphere, so to say. And it's a crime that can hurt, not only hurt, can humiliate, it can drive people to suicide. It's a very important thing, because that your enemies cannot be seen, which is the unseen force of a cyber space. Okay, then where are we? India. India stands third in the entire world. Maybe also one, maybe because of our population, but the first one is Singapore, China, and then India. China, yes, you will say is highly populated. What about Singapore? That means when all your needs are fulfilled, something again you are going, and you are getting yourself engaged in a virtual reality. Next slide, please. Another thing I have to say, they also did a study. The CRY undertook the study, and they asked the parents, what do you feel about it? 37% of Indian parents said, I don't think it is true. My child will not, my son, my daughter will not be doing this. But we know, when we compare it with the statistics and real life incidents, we know that children engage. Don't forget, in last week fully, we are talking about the boys' locker room. What happened? How nasty they were talking to each other, and they were planning a group sex. And this is some, and the children were studying in middle school. They are not even studying 11th and 12th. They are all below 14 years. This is a very, very, very troubling scenario. And if this can reach the next generation of children, definitely we need to understand what we mean by cyber safety and what we mean by a virtual reality. This, let us clearly understand, you cannot see your friend whom you are in contact with online. You don't know whether his name is Krishna or Mahindra, whatever it may be. We don't know them. But this virtual reality is now coming to your doorstep. It is entering your drawing room. You are using it. We have become part of it, and you, somewhere along the line, you miss it. The horizons, it is not clear any longer. You don't know whether you are in the real world or you are in your virtual reality. And you don't need great equipments for this. A simple cell phone will do. And once you enter the virtual reality, you have, your print is always there. It is more stronger than your thumbprint, because as you know, thumbprints will fade away over a period of time. Whereas when you visit a site and you leave behind, it can always be traced back. That's very important. Let us understand, I'm doing it for fun. Nobody will know it, but the whole cyber world will know it. It is accessible. So this is something that we need to understand. So we should not forget this fact. Next one, please. Now I am going to tell you one or two real happenings, because I have been working with children. And what happens? This little girl was studying in, I think, 8th or 9th standard, and she got one day a message in her cell phone. She, in an uncompromised position with another student, a boy, who was troubling her, and she had firmly said no. Now, once she got the message, like a good girl, she went and showed her parents. They said they were very angry. How can you do this? How can you do this? They got all the heads in their family and they did a bashing. She said, you are not doing things correctly. That's why it's happening. And ultimately somebody said, okay, let's go and file a complaint to the police. They went to the police station, they showed it, and the inspector said, all this is very just for fun. Why do you want to file a case? Then you will become a complaint, you will have to go to court. So I mean, then everybody said, no, 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 let us not give a complaint. They came off. And within 1 week, this girl committed suicide, leaving a note. She said, just because you didn't listen to me, you didn't have trust in me, I don't think I should live in this world. So she committed, after committing suicide, after they traced that letter, last letter, the police filed a case and they arrested the boy. Now, this is where we are. We need to understand when somebody is saying that I'm getting these type of messages, this is what is happening to me, we rarely tend to believe it. So what happens is, in the social, economic field and your personal life, it directly has an impact. How can this social thing? Yes, you want have so many friends, and there can be a profile hacking. I'm not going to explain all these things because since you are all students, this is one homework. You'll have to go there and take yourself, go to Google and find out what these things mean and whether you have faced all these things in your real life. And I'm sure all of you surprised that about 60% of this thing you have already experienced in your life, but not shared with anybody. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Okay. Now you say that I don't. Go to the earlier one, please. Check yourself. Yes. So this, I told you that our parents, Indian parents, think that you are using your cell phone or your computer, laptop for your benefit. I know of mothers who say, no, no, my son is always immersed in the computer. He's reading. God alone knows what he or she is reading. So you don't know, the parents do not know how to have a check on you. Now you check yourself how frequently you go and check your WhatsApp messages or whatever it is. And the minute this girl came to us the parents came to us seeking our help, because they said some days after she comes, immediately as soon as she is in her 11th standard, comes from school, she locks herself in a room. Some days after 1 or 2 hours, she comes out happily, then eats her dinner and start reading. But some days she refuses to come out and she skips her dinner and is not doing her studies. Her marks are slowly growing down. The school is very concerned because they want to have 100% pass. This girl may not pass. Now they wanted to know why. That's because every time she puts a message, she wants a like from that person immediately. If he responds immediately, she is happy. If he does not respond, then she's there with the computer till she gets a message from him. So it can become a very, very tricky situation where you are likely to get caught without your knowledge. So if you are not getting it, how will you displace your anger? You pick up a fight, you cry. If you get into a fight with your parents, your brothers and sisters, or you go out and engage in an aggressive manner, and you won't allow anybody to touch your cell phone or your laptop. Why? Because you don't want the others to know what your story. You have become extremely secretive about it, and you need to have a long list of friends list. Now you compare it with your friends. How many people today? How many people? See, I got more. These are your pastimes. Then spending about 50% of your free time on surfing. Now, this is very important because you are there in school or college and then you have some free time. You are supposed to be reading, studying, but you are, on the other hand, you are glued to your computer or to your cell phone. These are some of the way in which you can check yourself whether you are doing the right thing or whether you are not doing the, you are slowly going towards a net addiction. Now there is a new word called netizens. We know citizens, but now we are using netizens. Similarly, you are going to get addicted to your net or to your cell phone. So that's why you cannot be without it. Even if you go to a petrol pump to fill, then there also you have to have your full capacity in your cell phone. Otherwise, you are not very happy. So this is a very, very tricky situation. Now, what can happen? That's why we need, next slide, please. So how you get caught? You must understand, you don't, yes. So you don't become victim overnight. So now let's go through it slowly. So you have to have whatever personal or professional income, keep it to the minimum. You need not put your correct address unless it is somebody known to you. So anytime, the minute you make a call, that call is shared by your other friend instantaneously. You would have sent a message to your boyfriend, But the minute he gets it, he shares it with 10 of his close friends. The 10 of his close friends will share it with 50 others. Ultimately, your photo will be with somebody whom you do not know at all in life. I think that is the risky thing. Always understand that you will have to be safe. Once you enter a wrong site, come back quickly, because it is like a catch for you. They will start sending you, communicating with you, saying that you visited our site. What happened? Can we be? Can we do some service to you? Why? How we get caught is you think your online friend is more understanding than your parents and on your teachers. So you don't believe people who are close to you, part of your family, part of your everyday life, but you prefer to share your intimate details with some unknown friend. He may be part of India, he may be in UK, you can be anywhere in the world, but that you feel is very, very safe. So you can surf, you can have online research, but you have to follow the safe browsing practices. And whatever you are downloading, be very careful. Don't download everything and this. See that it is a secure place that you are, because that is where you get into all these other problems. Then let your password be little difficult. It should be accessible only to you. Now, what happens is you share that also online with your friend. Then he or she is able to come and see whatever you are doing. You are constant. I am in Alsa Mall. I am come here to buy whatever it is. Now, what that message you put immediately, and it will be sent to 10 or 20 people immediately. Why you want to give that? So it is very important. And when you are going to buy something, see whether it is a safe site. A safe site will have HTTP and another yes there, and there will be a lock signal. Please be careful and see that. Now, coming to this post very personal info, you must understand that it takes place over a period of time. Immediately, nobody says, okay, you send me your photo. First, they say hello, then they say how nice you are, how beautiful you are. Then you start sharing intimate details with them. What happened yesterday? Who are your friends? Slowly, they seem to be saying things that you like. So naturally, you turn to become very confident with them and you start share. Then suddenly they say, okay, let's have a dressing session. It is not dressing up, it is dressing down. So slowly, you start giving pictures of yourself in any manner that you are being goaded. Now we all call it a grooming procedure. So to become abused online, you have to, the other party is grooming you slowly. One day they say this, the next day it is an improvisation. Then if you don't want, then will say that day, the other day you shared your photo. No, I have, all my friends have seen you. Why should you not do it? So it is slowly you are going to be cornered. That is how the whole thing happens. Remember what happened now? They have recently arrested that Kasi. He has in his friends list even doctors, middle-aged women from respectable families. They have all either cheated monetarily or abused physically. How is it possible? The Pollachi case, we know hundreds of women were involved. Why? Because you are not able to share this with anybody. You know that you have done. How did they all oblige the abuser? That is because they are so nicely training you, grooming you to say exactly do what this person says. Then there are so many sites which are wanting new faces every day. So they once you are there for 15-20 days, then they want to introduce a new picture. So the demand for new pictures is every day increasing. So what will you do? The message says you introduce this to your friend. If you don't introduce, you are going to see your photos everywhere online. So you are slowly, they put pressure on you to introduce this to your friend. That friend in turn, another friend. So immediately you will see a group of people who are known to you are there in the same group. And what happened? That what must have happened in Pollachi. We are yet to know the results. We yet to know who did all that. Although we know there's a CBI case is going on, they have arrested Kasi, but we have to know the details. See, this person, this boy, he was about 17 years, was brought for a very petty crime. And while the police was searching, they took the cell, and once they opened the cell, the first thing police were aghast because he had pictured his entire sex life with his so-called wife. He was married. The girl was hardly about 16 years, and he had already recorded his own personal life. And then you go still further, he had so many obscene photos in his file. So from a very minor petty crime, he gravitated immediately to a very serious offense of sexual abuse, online abuse. So whatever is there you are saving, it will be there. And it is possible to go back in time and see what all has happened. It's very, very important. That is why we say don't post very personal information, your height, your weight, your body parts. Then don't send a new picture just because somewhere somebody is doing it. It is not necessary you should do it, and it is just not safe. This is a nice way of getting yourself involved in a abusive situation. That's why cyber abuse doesn't take place immediately. The person whom you think is your close friend, maybe he is slowly grooming you to an extreme point of, what shall I say, doing whatever he wants you to do. Then it becomes a very addictive, dependent life. And I'm sure nobody would like it, whether it's a boy, male, or a girl. It is the same thing. You don't want to do something just because somebody is putting pressure. This mental pressure can take you to drug abuse, can take you to suicide, and definitely it will interfere with your day-to-day life in college, and definitely your academic life will be completely spoiled. Let's understand something. This is a time that you are supposed to be reading, not only your college books. This is a time where you are going to prepare your learning base. What is your foundation? Now you see all the leaders. They say leaders are readers, or readers only become leaders. So this is the time you are young. This is the time where you'll have to keep reading, updating your information, not only about the course that you are learning in college, but about everything, and it is all available in online. It's all available. So many very important information is there. Anything that you want is there. But instead of going through that, instead of building yourself on a very, very strong foot so that you can face the adult life with confidence, you are using that time for these type of simple pleasures or enjoyment. Is this enjoyment? Then the enjoyment, the same person turns a threat to you in your personal life. This is very, very important. Please see, the minute you share an intimate photo, your friend sends it to 100 people. These 100 people will send it to 1,000 people. Then once they come back to you saying that your photo is with me, then you are caught. Unless you can report it to your parents, and the parents must believe you, you take it to your police. These become very, very difficult challenges, and definitely it spoils your academic life. So you have to have a goal. This is a time where you have to seek a goal for yourself. Understand what is the value. Is it right, or is it justifiable that I am using so much of time which I should be contributing for my own development for these type of pleasures, which are going to turn into difficulties very easily. Next slide, please. Yeah. So, அஞ்சுவது அஞ்சாமை பேதமை, அஞ்சுவது அஞ்சல் அறிவார் தொழில். Let us understand this very, very clearly. We are not saying don't surf the net. No, you know that you must learn how to be safe. Now, the government of Tamil Nadu gives a laptop to all the students who complete 12th, or at least come up to 12th. It's a gift. Just like God has endowed you with all the things, the government is giving you a very, very important gift in the form of a laptop. Now, what are you using it for? If you use it for your own development, this gift becomes meaningful in your life. If you are going to use this for abusing people or becoming a victim of abuse, then you are wasting a resource. You do not deserve a resource. So let us not go to that end of it. You have to be scared, because so you can lose your money, you can lose your face, and you can of course lose your sexual freedom also. So you have to be very careful in how you are going about. So you really surprised how 3000 years back Valluvar did this. Anjuvathu anjamai pedamai. Anjuvathu anjal arivar tholil. If you are supposed to be an intelligent person, you must know this is, I have to be very careful in this. And I need not do certain things. It is not for me. You must learn to separate cheese from chalk. If you don't do that, you will ultimately face challenges, or I should say, face very distressing situations in life. This period in your life as a student is the time, a golden time for you to empower yourself, to become a reader, learn about other things. All these things can happen only now. If you are going to use it for unnecessarily getting into corners and online, then you know that you are not doing the right thing with your life. So this is very important. And if there are parents there, I have only one request, because I said that I'm not going to talk about parenting or children. But when a child comes and says, many of us, the parents, have a tendency not to believe it. This would not have happened. He would not have done that way. I know him for so long. No, child sexual abuse is always committed by somebody very close to the child. So when the child says, only two things you'll have to do. You'll have to listen to them and say, yes, I understand. That one sentence will make a world of difference for the child. And secondly, maybe you are not responsible for what has happened. Let us understand. So that amount of space, if we can give you a child, nothing like that. Many a time, children are not comfortable in sharing all this information with the parent. So it becomes very important. They'll have to search for a sharing is a very difficult thing. So we are as a parent, your duty is to learn about what's happening. Maybe you are not very tech friendly. You have to learn at least to that extent of how to put in safeguards in your computer so that the children are safe. So let us this age is going to be governed by technology. There is no two way about it. It's going to become more and more difficult, and technology is going to become a part and parcel of our life. We must learn how to manage, how to overcome, and how to use this technology for our own development in life, and not succumb and become a victim in life. Technology is there, you have to become techno friendly. You have to learn and make the technology a friend for you, for your own betterment, for your own empowerment. So with this, I have one suggestion. This is such an important topic. I'm very happy this college has chosen this topic, but 30 minutes is not the time. You will have to spend one day at least with the group, tell them, ask them to go back, and then show them physically how it's all getting connected, and teach them how and what are the acts where they can give the complaint. So many things are involved. But as a beginning, I think this is a very good beginning, and we need to work further on this and take this message to all the students, because their life is now either governed or killed by online communications. Any questions?
Thank you so much, ma'am. That was very, very informative. I'm sure that all our young students will have a lot of questions to ask. So can we invite the students to
Yes,
communicate with both speakers, Dr. Kumar Babu as well as Girija Kumar?
Okay.
I've been
Yeah,
seeing
I
that,
will now invite Dr.
I know that all of you are appreciative of the sessions. But if you have any questions or communicate to the speakers, that's very encouraging.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Yeah, good
Good
afternoon.
afternoon. Yes.
Ma'am, I'm Jyotimani. I'm Dr. Jyotimani from MMM College of Health Sciences.
Yes.
I just have a question like how to make the police to be active in cyber crime.
The police is very active. They have a cyber cell department. And now there is also this Kavalan app, which all women must have it. And now there is a separate department ensuring women and children's safety. There is an IPS officer, it is headed by that. There is a group of police already working. And if you download this Kavalan app and give a register signal, within 30 minutes, whichever is the patrol van coming that side, they will come to you immediately.
Okay.
Have you seen the Kavalan app?
Yes, yes, ma'am. So before
Yes, you
that,
have to
it was not
download it in
working
your
in
cell.
database thing.
See, the two things involved. One is that you want to go and give a complaint to the police. In many instances, unless extreme case of abuse, parents and the person, they don't want to go to the police station. That is the problem. If they go, the
Yeah.
POXO Act and this Information Technology Act are very strong instruments. Police will definitely register a case, and the cyber cell in the police is very active.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Good morning, ma'am. This is Uma from MOP
Morning.
Vaishnav College.
Yes, yes, Uma, how are you?
No, yeah, no, I'm fine, ma'am. Fine, thank you. I am so happy I was able to
Yes,
see both of you through this channel.
yes,
No questions,
yes.
ma'am, as such.
Okay.
But it is excellent.
Ah,
It is an excellent.
okay. Yeah, nice to hear your voice. I don't see your picture, but yes,
Can all of you
good.
all please switch on
All
your
well.
video chat? And John, can you please stop presenting?
This
Can you
is
please
Uma.
stop presenting?
Hello. Are you able to hear me, ma'am?
Yes,
I can hear you.
yes, I am able to hear. Yes,
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. It was excellent. It's very useful. And as you rightly said, it has to be a day-long workshop for the students and an
yes,
interactive session maybe after the whole thing sets in.
yes,
The interactive session should be, as we'll have to work on all that.
yes, definitely. Look forward to it.
Yes, good afternoon all. It's a privilege to propose the vote of thanks on the memorable webinar on behalf of hello.
Yes, yes, continue.
Yes, yeah. On behalf of the Department of Sociology of Sri Kanyaka Parameshwari Arts and Science College, and first and foremost, I want to thank our ever supporting management of SKPC and our honorable correspondent Sri Gugulam Ramesh sir, our ever encouraging principal Dr. Mohaneshri ma'am, and vice principal and IQAC coordinator PB Vanitha ma'am, and vice principal academics Napinai ma'am. Now I extend my sincere gratitude to the resource persons, Dr. Kumar Babu sir and Mrs. Gija ma'am, for helping us to become more aware of the present day conditions and situations and problems and the ways we can help to solve them. I express my sincere thanks to CSIM for accepting our request to coordinate the webinar, and special thanks to Mari Banu ma'am, Lakshmi and Mr. John for supporting us for this webinar, and the attendees from various colleges and both the staff and students for listening patiently to this webinar and making this event successful. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you all.
Much. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.